Well, Coach, we continue here on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. Does it ever blow your mind? I mean, I know other universities have tried this, and there's nothing, no one can compare. And the money they've raised this week for the James is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think what blows my mind is just the generosity. The folks that are on this ship that have been a part of this for a long time. It's just the generosity and how much they care about the James and giving back.
You know, we've had a week of celebrating that this is the national championship cruise this year. Has it all sunk in? And I know you got your kids here. Caleb Downs is here, Lincoln Keenholz, and 9 of your players. I mean, there's a lot of love. And has it sunk in?
Yeah, I think it's been great for our current players to just be around this family and be around Buckeye Nation and let them kind of just let their hair down a little bit, but also spend time and just see what it means. Last night at the event, those guys all stood up and gave $500, to a fund a need, which just, speaks to the culture of Ohio State just in general. And so that was great. In terms of the sinking it in, I mean, I think there's times where it has sunk in, other times where it hasn't. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you say, we really did this. And then other times, the thing to me that's been great is just hearing the stories. You and I have talked about that of just, where everybody was, how it brought generations together, and how proud everybody is.
The other thing is spring practice is around the corner now. March 17th it will start. And you said it last night when you were talking to all the fans that what you did last year has now been erased, and this team needs to start new.
Yeah, and I speaks to our senior leadership. We had a leadership meeting, and the first thing on the board was reinforce the culture, and by the end of the meeting it was rebuild the culture, because this group in particular hasn't done anything as a group, coaches, players included. So that's what we're going to do, and spring ball is going to be an important part of that. We feel like we just got done the season, so spring ball may look a little bit different. We're going to still kind of work through that, but it'll only be 4 weeks this year as opposed to 5. We'll adjust, but spring will be important for us.
We've had a chance to talk to you about some of the changes. There's going to be new coaches. We know what's going to happen on the offense. We haven't had a chance to talk to you since you hired Matt Patricia as your new defensive coordinator. Talk about him and what the vision is, I guess, with him.
Well, the first thing was we want to continue with what we've been doing on defense. We don't want to just bring in a whole new defense. Tim Walton, is going to be a huge part of this. He and Matt are going to work together, and Tim and Matt and Larry and James all work together really well. And so bringing Matt into this thing was important. But he also had to understand that there were certain things in place that are going to continue. But he also brings 3 Super Bowl rings, an unbelievable amount of experience and expertise. Anybody who's spent time with him will tell you he's a very smart guy. He's had a ton of energy so far. He's dove into our coaches, dove into the guys on defense, got a chance to know them. And then we're going to be doing everything we can to run a defense that fits what we have. And there's a lot of things that we're going to do that are going to carry over from last year. But some other things we got to look at based on our personnel, and I think that's what good coaching is all about.
Last thing, and you could write a book, because I remember talking to you this time last year, and you were talking about how this was going to be a long season and depth was going to be so important. How much did you learn a year ago, and how much does that benefit as you go in? And I'm sure people are studying what you guys were able to do.
Yeah, and it is a long season. You're talking about preparing for 16 games. I think the thing that's different for us this year is now we're coming off of a 16-game season. So what does that mean? And we got done on January 20th. A lot of people had been done December 20th, and so we're about a month of catching up a little bit. So allowing some of the guys who played a lot of football to recover, but we also got to get some of these younger guys going. But building depth will be very, very important. Looks like we're going to be down to a roster limit of 105, which brings a whole bunch of challenges to the table. So a lot of things that are changing here. Certainly, as revenue sharing is going to be, right around the corner here. So again, a lot of change, and we're going to do everything we can to stay ahead of the curve.
Obviously, the portal's going to open soon. You guys are studying it. Is there any area you're trying to identify that you think you need help with?
I think coming out of the spring will give us a lot of information on where we are in all position groups, and we'll use the portal as an opportunity to fill holes, like we've talked about before. It's not a recruiting foundation for us. That's not how it is. We want to recruit high school players, develop them, retain them, and then develop them to go win championships and then fill the hole. So we'll do that here. We'll get a chance. We did a little bit of that during the season or during the first portal, but the challenge with that is we're still playing our season. So think about trying to think about next year's roster before your season's even over. So a lot of things that need to be looked at, as we move forward in terms of changing some of these portals around. I've talked to our commissioner, talked to other coaches in the league, looking at some of those things. But yeah, looking forward to the spring, identifying it, and then jumping in to see if we have any holes.
Well, there's a lot of love on this cruise ship, and I will tell you, and I know Coach will speak it, if you ever get the opportunity to do this, if you're a Buckeye fan, you want to be on this thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody who's been on this that doesn't think it's just an amazing thing. That's why you see so many people come year in and year out. It's like a family here, and a lot of great friendships.
Well, thank you for everything, Coach.
You got it.